All right, all right, all right, all right. Welcome to the latest edition. I was about to say edition. Welcome to the latest edition of Terrible Towel Tuesday. I am your host, SimFBallCritic. Had some technical difficulties there, guys. I don't know if you guys saw the Terrible Towel intro there, where I was, showing Renegade being played at a game at Heinz Field. For whatever reason, looks like it was frozen on my end. I think it was frozen on you guys' end, so I apologize for that. But you guys are able to hear me now. Everybody, please confirm that in the comment section, and we'll get started. What's up to my boy Tony? Damian Lillard, what's going on, man? Appreciate all of you guys who are here tonight. Y'all know what we're going to talk about. Y'all definitely know what we're going to talk about, so we'll go ahead and get into this thing here in just a moment. Like I said, guys, if you can do me a favor and just give me a quick thumbs up, a virtual thumbs up or a yes or what have you, just letting me know that you are able to hear me. And we'll go ahead and get started. And I know you guys probably wonder, why do I say that every single time? I'm just one of those people that just want to make sure that things are working, instead of talking and talking and talking and then come to find out you guys can't even hear me. So I like to wait to get that out. Yes, bro, you good? All right, appreciate that. What up, Kenya? What's up, Kia? We're definitely going to talk about that really quick. Actually, Kia, I'll talk about that now, man. I don't want to hold you in case, your intentions weren't to listen to the whole show. Basically, what's coming out, 5 years, 70 million total, 14 per year, and he was estimated to get guarantees of 33 million. They were saying that he was looking to get a guaranteed at least 30 or more million. And, the numbers are coming out right now at 33 for the first 2 years. So those are the terms. But all right, man, we're going to get right into it, man. Let's go ahead and talk about these Pittsburgh Steelers and Le'Veon Bell. There's a lot to address. So let me let you guys know that right now. I'm looking at my notations just to give you guys an idea of the things we're going to cover. And, of course, we're going to cover things that you guys bring up in the chat section like always. And we're going to try to have a hard stop, guys, right around 7:30. Like I said, I know we're Steelers fans. We could talk Steelers forever. But I want to, get some structure, man. Like I said, I don't want to kind of have it a segment and then we move on until the next week. So, basically, we're going to talk about the deal, the amount, whether or not it was fair. We'll talk about, again, a little bit of the guarantees. We'll talk about whether or not I feel or we feel that another team will pay what Bell is looking for. And I definitely want to talk about some of the teams that I'm hearing as of now that have some of the highest cap space that they're estimating for next season. Some guys who might be players to make a run at Le'Veon Bell. So that's pretty much what we'll talk about. So here we go. First of all, as a Steelers fan, I don't think too many of us should be surprised by this. Reason why I'm saying that is we know the Steelers history. We know how they get down, right? We know typically the Steelers are not going to break the bank for players that are not considered quarterbacks. It's not necessarily the Steelers either. It's just the league. That's how the league works. Is it fair? No. Is it basketball? No. These NBA contracts, I'm sure, are influencing NFL players feeling like they're probably at more risk. And they see the type of crazy money that these guys are getting that pretty much is guaranteed. So I can understand it. I'm going to address that as well, as far as me understanding where Bell is coming from. But we know how our Steelers work. Anybody who expected them to throw the bank at Le'Veon Bell, I don't know what to tell you. That's just not how they do business. Now, let's talk about the offer. If what we're hearing is true, it's being reported that the Steelers offered Le'Veon Bell a 5-year contract that would have paid him a total of $70 million. And I want you guys to keep in mind that Bell is 26 years old. And you would assume the way any NFL team, or definitely the way the Steelers structure their thing, is they try to give you the bulk of the money the first couple years if they can. If not, they try to make a good amount of your guarantee, your signing bonus. You know how they do it. And then in the latter half, maybe the 4th or 5th year, maybe the guy's not producing where they thought he would be, and it gives them the ability to get out of the contract without so much dead money. We know how that game works. So let's just assume he's 26 years old, a 5-year contract. So that's going to put him over 30, right? Before the contract is done. So this pretty much would be his glory years, and his glory contract and his time to get paid. Next, and I have to look at it from this standpoint. You know, if you look at it from Kevin Colbert there and Mike Tomlin's standpoint, I don't want to include Tomlin in this, but, you know, I just thought that was a fly picture. Let's talk more so Kevin Colbert. Kevin Colbert's job as a GM is to protect the interests of the team financially. That's what a GM does. The NFL, guys, we all know, is a copycat league, if you will, market value type of league, if you will. We've all seen it. For us guys who've been watching in the NFL for a very long time, we understand how these things work. We've seen positions like offensive line positions start to get paid all of a sudden, and then your pass rushers are starting to break the bank. We've even seen D tackles, and at one point it was the cornerbacks, and it's the receivers, and it's the quarterback, and there was a time where the running back was the man. You know, Adrian Peterson proved that with his big contract years ago, Chris Johnson and others. But that's how the game works. And the market right now for running backs, and listen, this is not me putting my 2 cents on, you know, how I feel about Bell or the Steelers. I'm just strictly speaking from that standpoint, from business. So that's why we're going to keep Kevin Colbert right there on the screen for a moment. The market says you might be able to find an Ezekiel Elliott in the draft. If you don't even want to go that high, you might be able to find a Saquon Barkley. Now, I know the Steelers are not. We hope we're never in that position where we can get the best running back that early. But we have to see what Saquon Barkley is going to be. So I won't really use him as an example. Let's use some better examples. Alvin Kamara. Okay, Kareem Hunt. Look at what Todd Gurley has turned out to be. Guys like this, Devontae Freeman. Yeah, look at what he's turned out to be coming out of Florida State. My point is, for the last few years, you've seen young guys being able to contribute and give you some production. Speaking of which, let's take a look and keep our eye on what New England does with who they drafted as a running back. Let's keep our eyes on that. They don't ever go after they never have the top guy in the backfield, but somehow New England is big bad New England. Of course, Tom Brady, and of course, Gronkowski, and of course, Bill Belichick. But you see what I'm saying? There are multiple teams around the league that are able to get production out of just a good, solid running back. It might not be Le'Veon Bell. So I can understand the Steelers' standpoint, as well as I understand Bell's standpoint. But I'm try to dissect this in sections. So I was surprised that Kevin Colbert and the brass was like, look, man, we're willing to give you 14 per. That surprised me. I didn't think the Steelers would pay that much. Y'all remember what I was saying last year? I didn't think they would even go that high. So I think the deal itself was fair. Again, for you guys that don't know what the deal was supposed to be, supposedly total of $70 million, you know, whether he plays it out or not, we don't know. But the Steelers do have a good track record of paying guys their full contract as long as they're producing, et cetera, et cetera. But the key would have been what was guaranteed, and that's always the key with any player. Le'Veon Bell said as much last year. It comes down to guarantees, right? Supposedly it was guaranteed $33 million. They offer him 14 per, and you're going to make 30 to 33 million in the first 2 years. That's a fair deal, just from a business standpoint, not as far as what he deserves. Now let's talk about Le'Veon Bell. Le'Veon Bell and his agent has pretty much stated that he would like to be paid as, I'm hearing a new term now. At one time he said as a number 2 receiver, but now he's actually using the wording of elite offensive weapon. Very clever there. I can't deny that. Le'Veon Bell is an awesome elite offensive weapon for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Okay? There's nothing to say around that, no getting around that. It is what it is, and we'll take Kevin Colbert off the table here for a moment, and we'll look at Le'Veon Bell. Again, it's tough to make that argument in this particular market because, again, we know how it works. Owners and GMs are looking at the market value. Devontae Freeman, I believe, or is it McCoy? One of these guys is either Shady McCoy or Devontae Freeman. One of those dudes. I can't remember who's the second guy in line, but they're making about 8.9 per. That's the next highest paid running back. Bell is wanting to jump up to about 16, 17 per year. That's a huge leap. That's just tough to do. But again, let me speak from Le'Veon Bell's standpoint. Listen, I'm 26 years old. I'm in my prime. I've produced for you. I've put up big time numbers. Not trying to take away from my other two killer bees, but if we want to take a look at who's the most important, you could arguably say the three of them are equally as important. Some could arguably say that Le'Veon Bell is more important than Antonio Brown. I've seen people say that, and it's a decent argument. I feel like they all complement each other. I will say, I feel like Le'Veon Bell is the security blanket. You know, the dump-offs and things like that. And Le'Veon Bell, you know, can get you those yards that you need and, you know, his receiving capability, et cetera, et cetera. But where he really excels is in pass protection. That's where Le'Veon Bell is the ultimate beast, is in pass protection. That's something that we're going to be missing without him if he is not going to be a Steeler beyond this year. Let's not forget that. Le'Veon Bell is a total package. Couple knocks on Le'Veon Bell, well, only really one. We all know he's not a home run hitter. He's not going to get you a 30-yard gain. Not really. Not from scrimmage in terms of getting the ball handed to him. He's not going to get a 50-yard touchdown. He's not going to get a 90-yard touchdown like Leonard Fournette did against us. He's not that guy. But he is a tremendous running back for the Pittsburgh Steelers system and the way we play. Okay? Here's another thing to think about. The offensive line. Remember when Le'Veon Bell first started and they was talking about how they had to get in sync and get their chemistry together and all of that because of the way he runs? Will another team's offensive line be able to easily adapt to what he does? We don't know. He doesn't know. As far as chemistry, you even saw that last year at the beginning of the season after him sitting out of training camp. You saw a little bit of rust. And I'm not worrying about his physical health because Le'Veon Bell is always going to, you know, he's going to be in shape. It might take him a couple games to get the rust off, but these are valid questions, man. Offensive lines, that run style is different. And he's built the chemistry with the O-line that we have. So that could be a factor. But also, again, let me get back to Bell's thoughts. I'm 26 years old, man. I'm in the prime time of my life. I overly produced for the team. I want to be a Pittsburgh Steeler, but I feel like I should get paid equal value to the other big-time, you know, names on our team. Obviously, he knows he can't get quarterback money, but he can make a fair argument and say, I would like to be paid like Antonio Brown, not because he thinks he's Antonio Brown, but he is utilized and he is as much of the offense as Antonio Brown is. He's not wrong for thinking that. I would never fault a man for attempting to get the money that they deserve, what they feel they deserve. Keep that in mind. What he feels he deserves, we can't really argue that. This is what this man feels. You understand what I'm saying? So what he feels he's deserved, I will never question a man for asking for what they think they deserve. I never will do that. But my thing is this. If you want to be a Steeler for life, is there any room for compromise? You know what I mean? And that's why I say I think the deal was fair for both parties. Could they pay him a little more? Sure. Could he accept a little less? Sure. And that's why I feel like the deal was fair. I thought those numbers would get it done. Because I never imagined that the Steelers would go beyond $12 million or so. I was shocked last year when it was rumored that they offered $13 a year. Blew me away. So if they, in fact, did offer this deal that we're hearing about, I think it was fair. And then at the end of the day, it comes down to this. Is it about the money? Which, of course it is, but follow what I'm saying here. Is he really concerned with winning? Because you got to look at the odds. The Pittsburgh Steelers, and I'm not being a Steeler, biased person here. I'm just keeping it real. We have been a perennial playoff team, and we always seem to be in the hunt and always seem to be a team that has the goods to possibly get a title. You got to think of what team would Le'Veon Bell go to? Who pays the money that he wants that is also a contender? That's a key factor. Think about all of the teams, and I know I'm going to miss some, but I rely on some of you guys as well to put it in the comments. Think about some of the teams, man, that right now that we think are on the come up or right there in the hunt. We know the New England Patriots, and we know they're not going to pay Le'Veon Bell that kind of money. So that's out, right? You got the Chiefs. They already got their running back. You got the Chargers. They pretty much already got their running back in Gordon. You're looking at the Rams. They got Todd Gurley, which they're going to have to do something with him soon, but you would imagine that he probably can make that happen. Why would they pay Bell and not pay Gurley? You understand what I'm saying there? If you're going to pay the money, you might as well go with the guy who's been producing for you. You got Devontae Freeman. You got Shady McCoy, which, we'll wait and see what's going to pan out with him, but I don't see that many teams jumping out the window next year. Now, I'm not saying that the Bills are in, contention, but let me think. Who else, guys? I'm missing some teams. I know I'm missing some teams. You got the Saints that at any given time you feel like they could be a team that can make a push like they did last year. Okay? You got the Falcons. I already said the Falcons. I didn't mean the Falcons. I meant the Vikings. My guy, Dalvin Cook, is there. All of these teams that are in the hunt. Let's look at the NFC East. Everybody got a running back. Zeke. Even the Redskins picked up Geis. Saquon Barkley. I'm just saying. Everybody has a running back. The Eagles are not going to pay that much money for a running back. Excuse me. You see what I'm saying? What team that's in position to win a championship in the next 3-4 years pays Le'Veon Bell? I don't know. I could be dead wrong. I'm just saying. Now, from what I saw today, man, they said the teams right now, it's about 4 teams or so that have the highest cap space going into next season. You got the Jets, the Bills, the Colts, and the Rams. My opinion, take the Rams off of that list. Jets, Bills, and Colts. How much winning you doing with those teams? I'm talking competing for a championship. That's all I'm saying. Competing for a championship. Now, the person that I kind of feel kind of bad for, man, is my guy, Mike Tomlin. Because Mike Tomlin is going to get some blame for this for whatever reason, and he has nothing to do with contract negotiations. I believe him when he said that he felt optimistic about something happening, probably because he kind of knew where the numbers were going to be projected. But there's nothing he can do. And as a head coach, really all you can do, man, unless you are a Belichick type of guy that's pretty much running the show. We know it, and it's not to knock Tomlin saying he can't run the show, but we know it don't work like that at Pittsburgh. Kevin Colbert and Mike Tomlin is a tandem. He says it himself. I handle coaching and the staff, and the roster. Colbert handles the money and acquiring guys for the roster. That's how it goes. But I feel bad for Tomlin, man, because I think he definitely likes Le'Veon Bell. Obviously, he likes all of his players, but it has to hurt as a coach when you just see that type of talent just potentially not being able to be locked up with you for a long amount of time. Now, the last thing I would say, guy, somebody said Green Bay, so I'm going to read your comments here in a moment. But the last thing I will say really quickly, we'll go back to Le'Veon Bell, because this is important. Now, how do I want to approach this? Are we sure that Le'Veon Bell is done with his off-the-field activities? And the reason why I say that is because it's not really coming from me, but I'm looking at all of the angles here. You think the ownership doesn't take that into consideration, and or the knee injuries that he suffered, and or the fact that he's 26 years old? So again, it surprised me that they offered him the amount that they did. Surprised me. So that's really kind of where I'm at with it. Well, here's one last thing I will say, and then I'll go look at the comments here. Is Le'Veon Bell the reason the Steelers win or not win a Super Bowl? That's a serious question. Is Le'Veon Bell the reason the Steelers win or don't win a Super Bowl? Before y'all answer that, let's consider this. Le'Veon Bell has played with the Pittsburgh Steelers for 5 years, alongside Ben Roethlisberger, alongside Antonio Brown, for a little bit of time, alongside a blossoming Martavis Bryant. Have we won a Super Bowl? Have we not forgotten the Jacksonville playoff game in Pittsburgh last year that we all assumed we had a good chance of winning? We didn't think it was going to just be an easy win because of how they got us earlier, but we all assumed that, oh no, we back, we ready for them, we at home, we had a bye. We put up 42 points and it wasn't enough. Y'all know where I'm getting at, right? I'll take Bell off the screen because he's no longer needed. The thing about long-term deals, guys, that we cannot forget as well is however much money you put out there is locking up cap. And it goes against your cap space. And that limits the amount or the ability for us to bolster that defense. Now, I know we primarily build through the draft. But if you look at it now, the Steelers haven't been opposed to going after a free agent, i.e. Joe Hayden, i.e. making an offer to Dante Hightower. Another thing we need to think about, the Steelers did not get that middle linebacker this year. What if next season free agency opens up and there's somebody there to grab? They want to keep some money to build elsewhere. It's been the defense that has been the reason why the Steelers have not won a Super Bowl in Le'Veon Bell's tenure. Has there been a few games that the Steelers offense didn't perform the way we thought? Sure. But for the most part, it's been the defense that's let us down. And I know my father-in-law, Leonard, is probably watching this right now, and I'm going to throw him a bone right here. You know who primarily has let us down? The #1 hated guy on the team, Mike Mitchell. Oh, man, Leonard hate Mike Mitchell, boy. You can't really blame him when you look at the play. Now, I didn't think Mike Mitchell was horrible. It's just that it just seems to be so many times he was out of position or he was just unable to make the right coverage play or take the wrong angle on the tackle at times, because he's done good stuff for the Steelers as well. But we can all agree the defense is the reason why we have not won a Super Bowl with that group of killer bees. So you have to consider that as well. You throw all that money to Le'Veon Bell at that one position where you still have your quarterback who might actually play longer now since Rudolph is behind him. Antonio Brown money already locked up. And there's other holes that we're going to have to fill. So I would imagine that's the reason why, even though they love Le'Veon Bell, and again, they stretched to offer him $14 per year with the risk of having to pay $70 million if he plays the contract out. I didn't think they would go that high, but clearly you could tell that they wanted to keep him, but they just wasn't going to go past a certain amount. So that's how the cookie crumbles, folks. And we're at about 7:27 right now, guys. So I'm going to spend no more than about 5 minutes looking at some of you guys' comments. Like I said, I want to keep some structure going, man, with the streams now that we're doing them live. So haven't even had dinner yet. You know, I put dinner aside to be with you guys. So y'all got to bear with me with the, with not having to run so long. All right. So let's take a look at some of the comments, man, and we'll get up out of here. Let's see. My man NY Kia said that's a tough offer to turn down. He's not going to get much better than that. Yeah, and that's one thing, Kia, that I forgot to mention. Oh, well, I kind of mentioned it, but do we think he's going to beat this offer next year? 1 year older. And here's one last component that I have to mention. Le'Veon Bell is going to get ran into the ground this season. You better believe that. There's no reason to believe that we're not going to give him as many touches as we did last season. In fact, he's telling us that this is going to be his best season. I guarantee you we're going to get the best out of Le'Veon Bell. Number one, the Steelers are going to utilize him. Number two, he knows he's playing for the money because he has more to prove now. You think other GMs are not watching and they say, oh, he turned that down? Okay, let's see what you're worth. You want it? You more than likely going to be a free agent next year. Let's see what we're going to pay you. Oh, so, yeah, all the cards are thrown in right now, bro. We're going to see the best Le'Veon Bell ever if he doesn't get hurt. There's always that caveat with any player on the field, but especially a guy that the Steelers are going to ride until the wheels fall off, and especially a guy who has had injury history. I pray for the best for him, man. I wish no ill will towards him. Get your money. Let's see. I'm not going to read them all, guys, so y'all understand how that goes, but I'm going to try to pick out some of the ones that we all could probably agree with or, kind of want to think on. Boston Sports Fanatic says, hey, Sim, I think Le'Veon Bell made a huge mistake by not signing an extension with the Steelers. A reason I say that is because I really believe that he is a huge part of the offense. He makes it go. Yeah, man, I think he made a mistake as well, but we'll see. Time will tell. Let's see. My man Kenya, what up, Kenya? Kenya says, Colbert actually did a great job and actually offered more than the Steelers would typically offer. You hit it right on the head, man. You or I or Tony, neither one of us thought that kind of money was going to be offered. So he tripped us. He tricked us right there. We didn't think that was going to happen. Blitzbacker says, to me, Bell not signing helped future backs. Maybe it'll reset the market. Bell, to me, has helped all of those guys because now people can't tell those guys, well, Bell only got X, so you can get. Good point. However, let's look at the flip side of it. Le'Veon Bell, in my opinion, as well, if he wanted to be a Steeler for life and if he would have compromised a little bit, look at the new market he would have set for running backs. 14 per, and the next guy's at 8.9. That's automatically, Todd Gurley's automatically going to get 12 or 13. That's in the bag. David Johnson, 12, 13 is in the bag if Le'Veon Bell takes $14 million. You see what I'm saying? So I see what you're saying, but the flip side of that is, and this is something that he said he wanted to do. He wants to reset the market. But again, you 8.9 to 17 million, I don't fault him for wanting it. I'm just saying you have to understand the game you're playing. And that goes with anything. You either compromise a little bit, because if you're playing somebody else's game, you have to know just how far you can go, how much you can stretch them and get close to what you want. It might not always fully go your way. But to be asking for 17, I don't see it. And if he gets it, God bless him. And great job, buddy. And that really hikes it up for running backs again. So if he gets it next year, great. I just don't see it happening. I don't see it. Let's see. Yeah, and that's a good question. Because we still don't know what the guarantees were. They said he had $33 million in guarantees, but if you listen to Dave and Dave, the Terrible Podcast, or read SteelersDepot.com, he kind of broke it down how he think it might have been, where he might have only been guaranteed, like fully guaranteed, about 20 something, but then the other would have been like roster bonuses and things like that. But we all agree, like I would say myself and Tony and those guys over there, that he would have gotten the guarantees. I mean, unless something drastically went wrong, where he had a horrendous injury or something like that this upcoming season, it's easy to assume that he would have gotten the bulk of it in those first 2 years. Like the report is saying, that he would have earned 30 plus for the first 2 years. So you might have a good point there. We don't know how much of the 33 was fully guaranteed, because again, even though it says guarantees, there's still additional things that you can do with guarantees when you start digging into the facts, where maybe 12 of it was based on roster bonus and blah blah blah, injuries, stuff like that. Let's see what else you guys got for me. Hayava says, I think it's tough to not look at it through a fan perspective, but I don't think there's anything wrong with him chasing money. It's best for the players as a whole if they get paid. I can't agree with you more, man. Listen, we are fans to the death, but I'm a human being. I'm a person who played sports, played football, and I understand. I ain't playing in the NFL, but I understand the risk factor. Again, especially when you looking across the street and you see these dudes playing basketball, getting these crazy contracts. I get it. But like I said, you just got to understand the game you're playing, man. Excuse me. Just a couple more, guys, and then we're going to get out of here. Charlie Lawson says, I don't think he will get that much money in a deal next year. Unlikely. Dumb move by him financially, regardless of anything else. That could be proven to be true, man. We'll wait and see. My boy Dez. What up, Dez? And let me tell y'all something about my boy Dez, and y'all have probably heard me say this before, man. This is a Ravens fan that I definitely respect. We chop it up. You know, that's my guy. And I know he's here just to hear what I have to say. You understand what I'm saying? So we don't have to be enemies. That's my guy, man. But what Dez said was he's actually commenting back to Hayava. He said, yeah, I don't know, man. Seems like a perfect fit, but they've been paying dues, so you're probably right. Oh, you're talking about the Colts. Okay. Yeah, okay. So somebody said Colts. Now, again, that could happen. But, again, it goes back to what I said. If he goes to the Colts, what is his chances of winning the title? If it's important to him. It might not be. Let's not leave that little piece out of it. It might not be important for him to win the title. Could just be about the money. Must be the money. You know what I'm saying? Dion Ben told us that, so we'll see. Somebody else said Green Bay. And then Scott says, nope, Green Bay can't afford him. I don't know Green Bay's situation. Zach says, they gave him a solid offer for this position. To answer your question, no, he's not the reason they do or don't get a ring. It's the defense. No one wins by giving up 45 points in a playoff game. Man, I forgot to put my round of applause button in there, but I was sure enough give it to you. So I'm going to give you a manual one, and I promise you guys next week I'll have my round of applause back in here. But, yeah, that's it right there. I know as fans we go with our heart sometime and our emotions, but it's a business. You know, we got to get that defense together too. So, again, with having Big Ben on the roster and having Antonio Brown, and there's some other guys who making some big chunks of change that are key components, it's hard to offer but so much to a running back. And we got to look outside of the fact that it's Le'Veon Bell. You understand what I'm saying? All right, so last one, guys. I'm going to say here, oh, yeah, crazy contracts in baseball. Woo. Oh, y'all saying that Rappaport saying only $10 million was fully guaranteed? Wow. Well, again, all of this stuff means that we don't know the numbers yet. You know, the large majority of people are saying, even I think Rappaport was even saying before that he was to make $33 million in guarantees. And again, like I said, guarantees, some of it could have a clause. There is a difference between fully guaranteed and guaranteed. I can't really explain it, but I've seen that before. Again, Dave and Dave said it on their podcast. Go to SteelersDepot.com. Breaks it down very well. He does a great job explaining it there. But he was saying it could have been some stuff like injuries or roster bonuses and things like that. You know, I'm guessing like if you're injured, then some of it wouldn't be guaranteed. I don't know. All I know is that I've seen it there and I've seen it reading in other places that doesn't necessarily mean that it was, air quotes, fully guaranteed. But I don't know. But either way, man, once we find the official numbers, I mean, I don't think, me personally, I don't think it was $10 million. There's no way they think they get a deal done with that. So you know, take Ian Rappaport and some of these guys, you know, their information with a grain of salt. I know they're just doing the job, but come on, I don't see, the Steelers ain't lowballing nobody like that. I mean, I don't see that. Not saying they didn't do it, I just don't see that. $10 million, you know you ain't getting no deal done with that. Excuse me. Bell going to the Ravens. Possibly, I don't know. I don't know if the Ravens pay that kind of bread. I don't know. I don't feel so. But yeah, my man said let's play some Renegade. I think it's stuck on y'all the first time, man. So I don't want to chance it again. But yeah, that'll go ahead and that'll be it for the night, man. Let me read this one last comment from Luis Davalia. He says, "Who's to say James Conner and the rookie running back that got drafted won't be able to help the team win next season?" The guy you're referring to is Jalen Samuels. Hey, they're saying James Conner looks phenomenal, man. He just have to stay healthy. That's all with him. You know, I'm confident in his ability. He definitely needs some work. You know, we saw last year that he needed some pass protection, you know, improvements there. Those things are fixable, but either way, the Steelers are not going to be as good without Le'Veon Bell. Let's just face it. They're not. Because of everything he's asked to do and because of how much of a security blanket he's been to Ben Roethlisberger with the checkdowns and dump-offs. Because one last thing I will say, I know Bell prides itself on being a receiver, but how often have we seen Bell actually split out and running actual routes? You know, and a lot of times he's matched up on a safety or even a linebacker. Would he be the same receiver against a top-notch corner? So it's saying that you deserve, you know, second-team receiver money. I mean, it's all perspective. You know what I mean? So, hey, man, if this is the end, we're gonna miss him. But again, man, it's business, and I think the Steelers could definitely find production from somewhere. Whether it's the draft next season or a couple guys that are on the roster, we'll see. So, no surprise by me. I was trying to be optimistic, but no surprise that it didn't happen. All right, so that's going to wrap up tonight's show, man. I want to appreciate all of you guys for coming through, man. Great turnout tonight. Continue to comment, man. Come back and, you know, leave more comments because I'm going to try to, you know, talk to you guys through the fingers here as much as I can for you guys who are going to see it post the live stream. So, we'll keep the conversation going, and then next week we'll start talking about some, you know, training camp predictions and who we're looking most forward to, being that we're about 8 days away or so. So that's cool. We're starting to get back into the thick of it. All right, man. So I gotta hit you guys with the promotional stuff. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Cut on your notifications so you're fully aware of the next video. And I promise, guys, it'll never hurt you to hit the like button. All right, that's going to do it for tonight. But until next time, let me know what you think. Here we go, Steelers. Peace.